Good afternoon, students. I hope you're all good. Today on our class, we are going to talk about communication strategy design. I hope everyone has signed their attendance in the learning management system. And now we can move on and start our class today. And for today's class, those are some of the learning outcomes. And by the end of this topic, the learner should be able to define key terms related to communication strategy. 2. List the steps of communication design process. 3. Explain the importance of defining clear objectives in communication strategy. And 4. Summarize the main characteristics of different communication approaches. Before we start, can we define what a strategy is? Let us start with a strategy. Everyone, please write in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and say that. Okay, that is good. Those are very good answers. Let us start and define what a strategy is. Strategy is a plan or method for achieving specific objectives. Yet, in order to achieve a goal or objective, certain requirements must be met. First of all, the objective must not only be specific but also feasible and clearly stated. Secondly, the needed resources should be available. To achieve a goal or objective, you know that you should have the objective should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable, it should be realistic, and should be time bound. And also you should consider the resources that are available. In sum, a strategy is about achieving specific, feasible, and clearly stated objectives with the available resources within an established timeline. Similarly, a communication strategy. Now, this is the definition of a communication strategy. We have defined strategy as a plan or method of achieving specific objectives. Now, a communication strategy is a well-planned series of actions aimed at achieving specific objectives through use of communication methods, techniques, and approaches. That is the definition of a communication strategy, and it is different from a strategy. A strategy is a plan, and communication strategy is a well-planned series of actions. Okay, and every design of a communication strategy is unique in content, methods, and media. The sequence to be followed when designing a strategy, however, tends to be consistent across the whole range of applications. Key, however, is the problem or the desired change to be achieved with all its implications and related background information. The type of method or approach to be used in designing a communication strategy depends largely on the complexity of objectives. The less complex an objective is, the method or approach to be used in designing a communication strategy is simple. And the more complex an objective is, the more complex the method or approach used to design a communication strategy. Hope we all understand. Okay, let us move on to the first step in designing or coming up with a communication strategy design. The first step is definition of objective. First, what is an objective? An objective is a goal. It is an aim. It is something that one aims to achieve or one desires to achieve. That is what an objective is. And for a communication strategy design, you should define your objectives clearly. They should be SMART. We call it SMART. The meaning of SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. That is what SMART means. And for every objectives yet that you are trying to come up with, it should be SMART. It should follow all those things. It should be time-bound. It should be achievable. You can't set something that you can't achieve. It should be realistic. Yeah, everything should be not everything really. Your objective should be realistic. It should make sense. It should be specific that this is what I want to achieve. You can't have a whole rowdy thing. You should have like specific, like this is what I want to achieve. This is what I want. Yeah, that is simply what definition of objectives is. And yeah, the overall communication strategy should be devised and defined by constantly checking and revising each element of the design. You should constantly revise it. You should constantly check it. Let us move to the second step, defining stakeholders. Selecting the audiences to which the communication action should be directed usually is not difficult. Having an in-depth understanding of their cultural background, opinions, and other relevant information could be more difficult. Yeah. For as you all know, each and every person has their own opinion. They have their own cultural thing. They have their own way of perceiving things. And these could not be very, very easy for someone to know or to consider or to really understand. What is these things? How about your opinion? Because each and every person has their own opinions, and each and every person, let us not forget, is entitled to his or her own opinion. In order to select the most appropriate media to design a message effectively, the communication specialist needs to know the norms, values of reference, actions, and aspirations of the audience. You know, for everyone, they have their own norms. They have their own values of reference. You should know the values that you are referring to, all those things, like what do they perceive, right? What is wrong according to your audience, what is not good, what is bad, what is beautiful, what is ugly, according to their own setup. Moving on swiftly, we are going to our third step, that is definition of type or level of change. It can be monologic or dialogic. Monologic mode, it is a level of change that usually falls within one of the following categories. We call it ACAB. ACAB is the acronym. The acronym means awareness, knowledge, attitudes, and behaviors or practices. And for dialogic, this change can be addressing broader issues at a social level, such as mobilization, collaboration, and conflict mediation resolution. For monologic, you have to know that it is ACAB, awareness, knowledge, attitudes, and behaviors. And for dialogic, it is broader. It is broader. It cannot fall into awareness, knowledge. Like for monologic, it falls into awareness, knowledge, and attitudes and behaviors. But for dialogic, it is broader, it cannot be categorized into something. It can be mobilization, mediation, conflict, so on and so forth. And our fourth step is communication approach. Define communication approach or tactics. What is it? What is a communication approach? You should maybe consider writing it in your notebook and define it well. Okay, the term approach refers to a specific communication focus or coherent set of tactical plans. For example, institutional strengthening, social marketing, community mobilization, edutainment, and so forth, aimed at achieving a certain objective. Some of the common communication approaches we've listed: there is social marketing, community mobilization, edutainment, advocacy. We'll just look at some. Maybe for advocacy, it is mainly applied to promote a specific issue or agenda, generally at a national level. Like maybe they're advocating for tree planting. They should we all know this saying that goes, you cut one tree, you plant two more. That is what is called advocacy. We have social marketing. I've defined what advocacy is. Social marketing is an approach rooted in the principles of marketing applied to social issues. It has been widely used, especially to promote health practices such as immunization campaigns, sanitation, and others. For the others, I'm going to maybe list down for you so that you can go and find some. This could be your assignment. Go and write, define more what information dissemination and campaigns as a communication approach is, their advantages, their disadvantages. We have information, education, and communication. Yes, go and research on that. And we have education and training, institutional strengthening, community mobilization, na interactive participatory communication. Please go write down, define all these, get more knowledge about these communication approaches. Maybe I should handle maybe communication mobilization. This is an approach that implies a systematic effort to involve the community to take part in the resolution of specific issues related to their well-being. Moving on swiftly, we go to our fifth, that is designing messages. When you are designing messages, you should consider the content, the information that you are conveying, the takeaway message. What do you want people to retain in their minds? And you should also know what steps or what to consider when designing a message. And finally, we have select channels. You should choose a channel that is good, because media is so broad and depends on a number of factors. Maybe objectives of communication, intervention, characteristics of the audience. Different audience have their own different characteristics, and the social environment and available resources. Thank you. I hope our class was good. And before we go, you have to write 3 interesting things about this lesson, 2 things that you have learned, and 1 question. Please let us make it quick. Write down in a notebook, and maybe I can take some few from you guys. And good. For our assignment, we are going to do these questions. Discuss 10 factors to consider when designing messages. And the second question is, discuss 10 advantages of social marketing as a communication approach. Thank you guys. Thank you for your attention today. And I hope we'll meet next time, safe and sound. And I'll need this work typed, and maybe I'll be collecting next week at the start of our class. Thank you very much. Let us meet next week.